Chapter 8. Breakfast at Tiffany's. Audrey wanted to do the movie, but she was nervous about the story. She usually played nice girls, princesses, dancers, nuns, but the girl in Breakfast at Tiffany's is not nice. She leaves her husband and goes to New York. She is friendly with bad people. Audrey was also nervous because Truman Capote did not really want her in the movie. He wanted Marilyn Monroe. Maybe the part isn't right for me, she thought. The director, Blake Edwards, visited Audrey in Switzerland. "It is the right part for you," he told her. "You're one of the 5 biggest actresses in the world. You can do anything. It's time to do something different and dangerous. Yes, Holly's a bad girl, but behind her expensive clothes and dark glasses, she's only a child." Audrey made Breakfast at Tiffany's in New York, and it came to the movie theaters in 1961. She's a European princess. She can't act the part of a poor American horse doctor's wife, some people said. But most people liked the movie very much. In her dark glasses and Givenchy clothes, Audrey was beautiful, crazy, and funny. And they loved her when she sadly sang Moon River at her bedroom window. Chapter 9. Sad Times. Audrey began to have problems after Breakfast at Tiffany's. Mel was not happy. "Audrey's becoming more and more famous," he thought. "Maybe she doesn't love me." Audrey had other problems, too. She was a school teacher in The Loudest Whisper with Shirley MacLaine, but the movie was not successful. It was boring, people thought. One day her dog, Mr. Famous, ran into the road. A car hit him, and he died. Then, in 1962, she made a very bad movie, Paris When It Sizzles. William Holden was also in the movie. He fell in love with Audrey and Sabrina, and he was in love with her 10 years later. He could not forget her, and he drank. In the evenings, Audrey often went to dinner with her old friend Givenchy. She told him about Mr. Famous and her problems with William Holden. "But there's something worse than that," she said sadly. "Things are not good with Mel and me." After Paris When It Sizzles, Audrey became happier. She made Charade with Cary Grant, and this was a better movie. It was beautiful and intelligent, funny and exciting. Maybe, she thought, the bad times are at an end. One day, in the winter of 1962, Audrey was at home in Switzerland with her 2-year-old son. Suddenly, she heard the telephone. Audrey answered it. "Are you sitting down?" somebody said from Hollywood. "You are going to be Eliza Doolittle in My Fair Lady." Chapter 10. My Fair Lady. My Fair Lady opened on Broadway in 1956. Rex Harrison was Higgins, and Julie Andrews was Eliza Doolittle. It became the most successful theater musical of all time. Everybody wanted to see the same actors in the movie, but Jack Warner, the producer, had other ideas. He was happy with Rex Harrison, but he wanted a more famous actress for Eliza. He wanted Audrey Hepburn. In the beginning, Rex Harrison was very unfriendly to Audrey because Julie Andrews was not in the movie. He was also unhappy about money. "Why are you paying Audrey $1 million?" he asked the producers angrily. "My part is more important, but you're only paying me $250,000. Audrey found an answer to this problem. She bought Rex a red bike, and they became good friends. But she could not buy red bikes for everybody. The newspapers also wanted to see Julie Andrews in the movie. Audrey felt sorry for Julie. "But what can I do?" she thought. "The producers want me, and I really want to be Eliza. I can't say no." Work began in August 1963, and it was not an easy time for Audrey. She had to have singing lessons because she could not sing as well as Julie Andrews. One day, the director said, "I'm sorry, Audrey. We'll have to use a different singer." After this, she was difficult with everybody. She shouted at Mel when he visited her. Everybody on the movie heard their fights. Sometimes, in front of the cameras, she started to cry. My Fair Lady came to the movie theaters in October 1964. The newspapers did not like Audrey's acting in the first half of the movie, but they liked her more in the second half. She was beautiful in her white hats and dresses, and when Professor Higgins hurt her, she acted wonderfully. You could really feel it when she was angry. My Fair Lady won 8 Oscars, but Audrey did not win one. Hollywood felt sorry for Julie Andrews and gave her the Oscar for her part in the Disney musical Mary Poppins. Chapter 11. A Family Home. Audrey left Hollywood as quickly as possible. She wanted to be near Mel, so she moved to Spain with him for 8 months. She wanted to be happy again and to stop fighting. She remembered when she was a child. Her father left her when she was 6 years old. Now her son, Sean, was the same age, and she did not want him to lose his father. She then bought a house in a small town in the French part of Switzerland. She had white English flowers in the yard, and Sean played with the other children. For a short time, in 1965, Audrey and Mel were happy again. Audrey made a successful movie with Peter O'Toole, How to Steal $1 Million. After that movie, Young women everywhere wore the same big white sunglasses and short white skirts. In 1966, she made Two for the Road. This was a movie about the problems of married life. Audrey was very good in this movie, but it was more successful in Europe than in the United States. The most important actor in the movie was Albert Finney. He was younger than Audrey, and she liked him very much. She went drinking and dancing with him in the evening and had a wonderful time. In 1967, things started to go wrong again. She made Wait Until Dark, and people liked it, but Audrey was not happy. She was away from her son, and Mel was friendly with other women. She became pregnant again, but lost the child. This was the end for her and Mel. "I was very sad when Mel left," she said later. "I was more famous than him, and he felt bad. But I really tried to be a good wife. My family was always more important to me than my movies." Chapter 12. Married Again. In 1969, Audrey married an Italian doctor, Andrea Dotti. He was 10 years younger than her, and he knew her movies. Audrey lived a quiet life in Switzerland and Rome. She had a baby boy, Luca, in 1970, and became interested in her husband's work. She was most interested in children with problems. "I don't want to make more movies," she told newspapers. "I'm happy as a good wife and mother." She only made one movie in 11 years, Robin and Marion, 1975, with Sean Connery. She made it quickly in Spain, when her children were on summer vacation. It was good, but not very successful. Younger people were not interested in a love story between two older people. Then Audrey heard about her husband's girlfriends, and she was very angry. Other women said, "It's not a problem. He loves you. All husbands have girlfriends." But Audrey did not listen to them. "When you love somebody, you have to love them all your life," she said to friends. She left Dotti in 1979. Chapter 13. A Beautiful New Angel. Audrey only made 2 or 3 more movies, and they were not very good. She made them for the money. When she became older, she wanted to do something more important with her life. She remembered her early years at the end of the war, when she was poor and hungry. Now she wanted to help poor and hungry children too. She started to work for the United Nations. With her new friend, Robert Wolders, she visited the poorest and most dangerous countries in the world. The world-famous actress in Givenchy clothes now worked with hungry children in Africa. She stayed in small towns with no water and visited sick children in dirty old hospitals. When she was at home, She talked on television about her work. She had a small part in one more movie. She was an angel in Steven Spielberg's Always. Audrey's last words in the movie are, "Do things for others." In 1992, she traveled to Africa for the last time. When she came back, she was very sick. She got better for a short time, and her old friends Elizabeth Taylor and Gregory Peck visited her. But then she became very sick again, and the doctors could not help her. She left hospital and went back to her house in Switzerland. She wanted to see the snow on the mountains again before she died. There were white flowers everywhere inside the house. Her friend Givenchy sent them from Paris. Audrey had one last quiet Christmas with her family. Before they carried her upstairs to bed, she looked at everybody. "This was the best Christmas of my life," she said. On January 20th, 1993, Audrey Hepburn died. She was 64. Mel Ferrer and Andrea Dotti came to the church near her house and said goodbye. Elizabeth Taylor said, "God has a beautiful new angel now." The ground outside the church was white with snow and flowers.